Meghan Markle's Invictus Games exit. The scandal they don't want you to know. She arrived in Germany to applause, but left in silence. Meghan Markle's sudden departure from the 2025 Invictus Games in Düsseldorf was officially explained as a desire to spend time with her children. But behind closed doors, the truth was far more damning. According to insider reports, Meghan wasn't just leaving voluntarily. She was being pushed out. This was not an amicable exit. This was an ultimatum. For months, organizers of the Invictus Games, along with key financial backers, had been in turmoil over Meghan's involvement. What should have been a respectful tribute to wounded veterans had allegedly turned into another stage for Markle's self-promotion. Her presence wasn't just unwelcome. It was a liability. The decision to remove Meghan wasn't made overnight. Discussions had been ongoing since October of the previous year about whether she should even be allowed to attend the games at all. Some officials believe she was never supposed to be there in the first place. So, what happened? How did Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, go from being a guest of honor to an unwanted distraction? The backlash from organizers and supporters. According to sources close to the event, the main concern was Meghan's behavior and intentions. While the Invictus Games has always been about honoring veterans and wounded warriors, Meghan allegedly made it about herself. Despite repeated guidance to keep the focus on the athletes, Meghan seemed determined to turn the games into a PR opportunity. Perhaps the most controversial moment was when she reportedly took a veteran's wheelchair and used it for a social media photo op. The moment, meant to be solemn and respectful, instead turned into an internet firestorm, with critics accusing her of being tone-deaf and self-serving. As the complaints against Meghan grew louder, so did the frustrations of event organizers. And then came the final straw. Behind closed doors, the Invictus team delivered an ultimatum to Prince Harry. Either Meghan leaves, or both of them would be permanently uninvited from all future Invictus Games. Prince Harry's own controversies. Harry was no stranger to controversy himself during this year's games. He made political remarks about former U.S. President Donald Trump, a move that many saw as deeply inappropriate for an event that should have remained apolitical. Veterans and supporters were outraged, with some expressing fears that Harry's comments could jeopardize future sponsorships and funding for the games. Additionally, footage from the event showed Harry engaging in awkward behavior, including dancing and making gestures near disabled veterans in ways that some found deeply uncomfortable. The backlash wasn't just from outsiders. It was coming from inside the Invictus organization itself. And this raised an even bigger question. Does Invictus even need Harry anymore? Could Prince Harry be replaced? For years, Harry had been the face of the Invictus Games. But as his actions and choices continued to draw negative attention, some were beginning to wonder if a new face could better represent the event. One name that kept coming up? David Beckham. The legendary footballer has a strong record of philanthropy, a respected global reputation, and, perhaps most importantly, no baggage attached to him. He is seen as more professional, more credible, and far less controversial than Harry. If Harry were to be removed from his position, the Invictus Games would likely continue without him, possibly even thrive. Meghan and Harry, a growing fallout. For Meghan, this marks yet another humiliating departure from an event she hoped to capitalize on. From Hollywood to charity circuits, she is running out of places to reinvent herself. And for Harry, this may be his last chance to remain connected to a cause he once deeply cared about. If Invictus officially cuts ties with him, his credibility in the charity world could collapse entirely. But perhaps the bigger question is this. How long can Meghan and Harry continue to insert themselves into institutions that no longer want them? Because if the Invictus Games is any indication, the world is losing patience.